We shall fight in France. We shall fight on the seas and oceans. We shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength in the air. We shall defend our island, whatever the cost may be.
Another great technique that you can use, and this is really straightforward. It looks really scary, syntactical parallelism. Ah! And you don't need to learn the phrase syntactical parallelism. It's only really useful to learn if you're going to go and do English language for A-level, when you can study language in a bit more detail. But syntactical parallelism is basically when you repeat the same sentence structure. So for example, let's imagine I'm writing a letter to my local council and I'm asking them to open this youth club for people. And I put, do you want young people to be happy and safe? It's a rhetorical question. But I can use two more rhetorical questions in the same structure to create syntactical parallelism. Let me show you. Do you want to nurture new talents? Do you want to invest in a new generation? So what I've got is three rhetorical questions. Do you want young people to be happy and safe? Do you want to nurture new talents? Do you want to invest in a new generation? And you can almost hear that next paragraph. If so, then, and then you tell them what you want. I often say to students, if you're really stuck with how to begin a piece of persuasive writing, three rhetorical questions that follow the same pattern, syntactical parallelism, it's a fantastic way to start. So imagine your head teacher has decided to ban chips in the cafeteria. You could say, this is a horrific decision, this is a dreadful decision, but this is a responsible decision. You know, and you're just playing around with the same patterns of words. It's like Martin Luther King did in that really famous speech, I have a dream!
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream. My poor little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream.
Or that really famous speech that Barack Obama did, yes we can.
Yes we can, it's an opportunity.
Politicians know how to manipulate syntactical parallelism for effect, and so can you. Parenthesis can be very complicated, but the reason for including parenthesis is it lets you use some really cool punctuation, parenthetical punctuation. Let's say I'm writing a sentence like, my car broke down. That there, as you can see, is a main clause. It makes sense on its own. But let's say what I want to do is I want to say that I was really frustrated because not only did my car break down, it was also new. So I wasn't expecting it to break down. I could say my car broke down and it was new, but it's better to say my car, which was new, broke down. Do you see what I've done? I've taken an extra bit of information and I've stuffed it inside another sentence. Let me explain. The word parenthesis contains the word parent. And as you know, a parent, basically, a mother carries a small child or a small person inside her. In the same way, a sentence with parenthesis carries a smaller phrase inside it. And the reason why you should use them is because the punctuation you can use for these small phrases allows you to hit more variety in your punctuation. So for example, you can use, like I have, 2 commas, or you can use brackets, or you can use hyphens. And the reason for this is because if you're aiming for an A star, you need to show that you can use the full range of punctuation. So you could say, for example, this city, brackets, which takes great care of its elderly, end brackets, Is neglecting its young? Perfect. It's a great way to use this punctuation, and it creates variety in your sentences. Not as hard as it looks. Practice it. Another dead simple way of varying your sentences is just to change the way you start sentences. Often when I'm marking a piece of work the student has done, I look down at the writing and I see the same beginning every time. The sentences, the, he, she. We always tend to begin with the object of the sentence, the person, the thing the sentence is happening to. A great way to create some fantastic sentences is just to begin in an unexpected way. So, for example, instead of beginning with just nouns, start with an adjective. Enormous cakes filled every shelf. What about dingy shoppers trudge through the streets of York while the young people have nowhere to go? What about a verb with ing? So, walking around York, we see young people with no place to be, with no aspirations, alone in the streets, or hoping for a change to the current youth facilities. The young people of this school are writing a letter to you, Councillor Smith. Or the word as. As we are approaching a new year, so our thoughts must turn to the new generation, you know, that sort of thing. The word while. While I appreciate it's expensive to invest in these facilities, it is necessary. You know, or beginning with a sentence, just change the way you start your sentences. Shake things up a bit. Practice and alter these different ways of starting, and you'll find the whole sentence can be transformed. It's a great way to create variety. And so, although sentences can seem really daunting, just by remembering things like exclamation marks, question marks and commands, one-word sentences, using words like and which to make your sentences a bit more complicated, using different words to start them off, and using brackets and things can make a huge difference. This is a piece of work that from a student that I've just marked an essay they've done on a piece of writing, and this student, they'll know who they are when they see the writing, told me that they couldn't do grammar and they couldn't do sentences, and this is their first 3 paragraphs, and I'd just like to share it with you. Outside the rain hammers down relentlessly, cold, heavy, merciless. What could be more uninviting? What could be more chilling to the very bone? What else could we expect for an English summertime? On days like this, what is there for the young people of York to do? Nothing. Nothing whatsoever. Imagine a city where this doesn't have to be the case. In a truly modern and welcoming city, look at this parenthesis, 2 hyphens, the sort of city York could easily become. We would show young people how highly we value them by giving them their own spaces. Sadly, this is not the sort of city we live in today. Just thinking about your sentences can change the rhythm, can change the quality, can change the tone of your writing. Practice it. I know it's difficult, but it really does pay off.